she walked off the set in tears. Joan Crawford, the most glamorous woman in Hollywood, running to her dressing room like a scolded child. And as she fled, she said something that would become legendary. "My God," and they say I'm a bitch. The woman who made her cry? Lucille Ball. Yes, that Lucille Ball, America's sweetheart, the red-headed queen of comedy who made millions laugh every week on Isle of Lucy. The woman who seemed incapable of meanness. But here's the truth nobody wanted to admit. Lucille Ball wasn't just a brilliant comedian and groundbreaking producer, she was also one of the most difficult, demanding, and brutally honest women in Hollywood. And because of that, she saw things other people missed. She worked with everyone. The legends, the icons, the women America worshipped. And some of them disgusted her. Before she died in 1989, Lucille Ball made it clear which actresses she believed were truly evil. Not traumatic, not temperamental, evil. Women who used their beauty and power to destroy people weaker than themselves. Women who smiled for the cameras and showed their true faces the moment the lights went dark. 6 names. 6 actresses who America adored but Lucille Ball despised. And what she witnessed will change how you see old Hollywood forever. But before we reveal these shocking names, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the dark side of classic Hollywood. Now, let's uncover the actresses Lucille Ball called truly evil. Number 6. Tallulah Bankhead, the drunk who sabotaged everything. Tallulah Bankhead was theatrical royalty, a Broadway legend with a voice like gravel and honey, a reputation for outrageous behavior, and a following that treated her like a goddess. Lucille Ball hated working with her. It started in 1957, when Tallulah appeared on the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. She was actually a last-minute replacement for Bette Davis, who had backed out. From the first rehearsal, Lucy knew they had a problem. Throughout the rehearsals, Lucy kept giving Tallulah advice on how to deliver her lines, and there were battles between them. Tallulah, after all, was a trained stage actress. She didn't appreciate a television comedian telling her how to perform. But Lucy wasn't being petty. She was being professional, because Tallulah had a serious problem that everyone in Hollywood knew about, but nobody wanted to address. She drank, constantly. Then during the taping, Tallulah showed up drunk, which wasn't unusual for her. Lucy later admitted that while Tallulah sailed magnificently through every scene, she herself struggled because Tallulah's unpredictability made it impossible to maintain any rhythm. What bothered Lucy most wasn't Tallulah's talent, it was her refusal to respect the work. Lucy had built her career on discipline and reliability. She showed up on time, she knew her lines, she didn't waste people's money or patience. Tallulah represented everything Lucy despised: wasted potential, selfishness disguised as eccentricity, and a complete disregard for everyone else on the set who had to work twice as hard to compensate for her behavior. Years later, when asked about Tallulah, Lucy's response was diplomatic, but cold. She acknowledged Tallulah's talent. She never acknowledged her as a professional. To Lucy, talent without discipline was worse than no talent at all. And Tallulah Bankhead embodied that perfectly. Number 5. Bette Davis, the actress who enjoyed hurting people. Bette Davis was a titan. 2 Academy Awards, dozens of iconic performances, a woman who fought the studio system and won. She commanded respect everywhere she went. Except from Lucille Ball. Lucy's distaste for Bette didn't come from jealousy or competition, it came from witnessing something that disgusted her to her core: cruelty for sport. Their most memorable encounter happened at an industry dinner in the mid-1960s. Lucy was seated close enough to watch as Bette Davis tore into a young waiter who had mistakenly brought the wrong wine. The room fell silent. Betty's voice cut through the air like a blade. She asked the boy if he even knew how to read a label or if that was beyond him. The waiter apologized repeatedly, but Bette continued, savoring the humiliation like a performance. Lucy watched, stunned. This wasn't a diva having a bad day, this was deliberate cruelty. This was someone enjoying the power to destroy another person's dignity in front of a room full of witnesses. Later that night, Bette spotted Lucy and raised her glass in mock friendliness. Lucy didn't reciprocate. She had already seen enough. Afterward, Lucy told a friend something revealing. She said that Joan Crawford was cold, but Bette was different. Bette enjoyed inflicting the wound. To Lucy, That was unforgivable. She respected talent relentlessly, but she despised anyone who used power to crush people trying to survive in the same industry. She once said greatness should protect people, not break them. Bette Davis broke people, and she seemed to like it. Lucy and Bette were never friends. They worked in the same city, the same era, the same circles, yet avoided each other like oil and water. Even decades later, when Bette appeared in tributes or retrospectives, Lucy declined joint interviews. Bette Davis was actually scheduled to appear on the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour in 1957, but backed out at the last minute, replaced by Tallulah Bankhead. Some people whispered that Lucy wasn't disappointed by that cancellation at all. Number 4. Ava Gardner, the beauty who weaponized cruelty. What kind of woman can make Lucille Ball say she enjoyed the hurt she caused? That woman was Ava Gardner. Ava had everything: the face, the body, the husbands, Frank Sinatra, Mickey Rooney, Artie Shaw. She moved through Hollywood like royalty and people bowed. But Lucy saw something sharper, something far more dangerous: beauty with a taste for cruelty. Their tension didn't begin with a misunderstanding. It began with Ava targeting people she thought were beneath her, and Lucy witnessed it up close. One afternoon in the mid-1960s at an MGM wardrobe fitting, a young assistant nervously presented Ava with a freshly steamed dress. A tiny spot of oversteaming had softened a seam. It was barely noticeable. Ava's reaction was volcanic. She stared at the girl and then said slowly, "Don't bother fixing it. You can't fix incompetence with more incompetence." The girl froze, humiliated. Lucy, standing nearby, felt her chest tighten. This wasn't diva behavior. This was deliberate cruelty. This was someone enjoying the power to destroy another person's dignity in front of a room full of witnesses. Later that night, Ava spotted Lucy and raised her glass in mock friendliness. Lucy didn't reciprocate. She had already seen enough. Afterward, Lucy told a confidant something revealing. She said that Joan Crawford was cold, but Bette was different. Bette enjoyed inflicting the wound. To Lucy, that was unforgivable. She respected talent relentlessly, but she despised anyone who used power to crush people trying to survive in the same industry. She once said greatness should protect people, not break them. Bette Davis broke people, and she seemed to like it. Lucy and Bette were never friends. They worked in the same city, the same era, the same circles, yet avoided each other like oil and water.
Number 3. Zsa Zsa Gabor, the fraud who smiled while stabbing. The moment Zsa Zsa Gabor's name came up, Lucille Ball didn't sigh or roll her eyes. She laughed, a bitter, knowing laugh. Lucy didn't fear Zsa Zsa. She didn't resent her success or her looks. What she hated, truly hated, was the fraudulence. Zsa Zsa wasn't just dramatic or spoiled. To Lucy, she was a walking performance, a woman who weaponized charm while treating people like disposable props. Lucy's disgust began at a charity event in the late 1960s. Cameras flashed, and Zsa Zsa floated in, draped in diamonds and furs, smiling like royalty. The second the photographers left, everything changed. A volunteer politely guided her to a table. Zsa Zsa snapped, "I don't sit with peasants." Lucy witnessed it from across the room. That one sentence was enough. But the worst moment came minutes later. A young volunteer, barely 20, accidentally brushed Zsa Zsa's coat. Instead of a simple correction, Zsa Zsa leaned in and whispered sweetly, "Sweetheart, you touch my coat again, and I'll make sure you never work an event in this town again." The threat was delivered with a smile, like she was offering a compliment. Lucy felt sick. Later that night, she vented to a close colleague, saying nothing about Zsa Zsa was real. Not the accent, not the elegance, not even the kindness. To Lucy, fake kindness was worse than open cruelty. A fake person could disarm people. A fake person could fool the world. And Zsa Zsa never changed. Even decades later, in 1989, when she slapped a Beverly Hills police officer, Lucy wasn't surprised. She simply said, "There she is, the real one." Lucy never forgave Zsa Zsa. And in Lucy's eyes, the most dangerous kind of evil is the kind that smiles while it stabs. Number 2. Joan Crawford, the ice queen who terrorized everyone. In 1968, Joan Crawford guest starred on The Lucy Show in an episode called The Lucy and the Lost Star. What should have been a career highlight for both women turned into a nightmare that cemented Lucy's hatred. According to Hollywood sources, Joan Crawford was often drunk on the set during taping, which led to frequent arguments between Lucy and her. Crawford was late for rehearsals and couldn't remember her lines. When Lucy caught Joan drinking a glass of vodka through a straw during rehearsals, she went ballistic and tore into Joan. Crawford, who was no shrinking violet, ran off in tears to her dressing room, and as she fled, she delivered that legendary line, "My God, and they say I'm a bitch." But Lucy's hatred of Crawford went deeper than one bad episode. It was about what she represented. Joan Crawford was all image, all performance, all facade. Underneath the diamonds and perfect posture, Lucy saw nothing but ice. Crawford demanded the studio be kept at exactly 68 degrees. She required her chair angled at a specific degree. She insisted lighting be adjusted to her bone structure. Lucy didn't object to any of that. What bothered her was how Crawford treated people who couldn't fight back. During that same episode, a young wardrobe assistant brought Crawford a dress with a barely visible wrinkle. Crawford didn't correct the mistake, she destroyed the girl, calling her useless and suggesting she'd be lucky to clean toilets. Lucy refused to let Crawford have the girl fired, and that refusal marked the start of her private hatred. Cameras rolled, and Crawford transformed instantly. Charming, gracious, sparkling. The moment the red light turned off, she froze again, like a mannequin switching modes. Lucy whispered later that she'd worked with department store mannequins who felt more human. To Lucy, Crawford wasn't just cold. She was performing humanity, not living it. And Lucy believed cruelty toward powerless people revealed a person's true character. Joan Crawford failed that test completely. Number 1. Judy Garland, the chaos that destroyed everyone. This one hurts the most, because unlike every other name on this list, Lucy didn't hate Judy Garland, she pitied her, and that made it worse. Lucy had known Judy since their MGM days. She admired her voice, her soul, her tragic brilliance. But she also witnessed what fans never saw, the wreckage Garland left behind every time she walked onto a set late, unsteady, or not at all. Lucy once told a friend that Judy was magic, but magic that burned the stage down. One memory stayed with Lucy forever. A TV director in the 70s told her about a shoot where Garland was scheduled to arrive at 5 a.m. The full crew, grips, lighting, camera, makeup, waited and waited. Garland arrived at 2 p.m., radiant and apologetic. Then she delivered 30 perfect minutes that reminded everyone why she was a star. Then she declared she was too tired to continue and left. The next morning, 3 crew members were fired because the production was now over budget. Lucy's anger didn't come from jealousy or moral judgment. It came from workplace scars. Herself, she had survived Hollywood by being reliable in a system built to discard women. Watching Garland waste her gift while innocent people paid the price felt unforgivable. She said it bluntly at a private dinner, "Talent doesn't excuse destruction." And with Judy, someone always got destroyed. Lucy never openly confronted Garland, but she quietly avoided working with her again. When Garland died in 1969, Lucy mourned the talent, but not the turmoil. To Lucy, Judy wasn't evil in intent, but the damage she caused was real, deep, and impossible to ignore. And that's why she's number 1. Because sometimes the worst evil comes from people who never meant to hurt anyone. They just couldn't help themselves. And everyone else suffered for it. So there you have it. 6 actresses Lucille Ball believed were truly evil. From Tallulah Bankhead's drunken unprofessionalism to Judy Garland's destructive chaos. From Bette Davis enjoying cruelty to Ava Gardner weaponizing beauty. From Zsa Zsa Gabor's fake kindness to Joan Crawford's icy inhumanity. Which story shocked you the most? Did you know that Lucy had these bitter feelings towards some of Hollywood's biggest legends? Do you think she was right, or was she too harsh? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more untold stories from classic Hollywood, the feuds, the scandals, the truths they tried to hide, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Because the real Hollywood was never as glamorous as they wanted you to believe, and Lucille Ball knew that better than anyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.